Let's look at divisibility tests for numbers. Now, what this means is what are easy ways to determine whether or not a number can be divided by another number. And there are divisibility tests for the numbers 2 through 10 are the most common ones that we want to be able to use. Now, how do you decide if a number will divide by 2? 2 is pretty simple. Every even number divides by 2. What about the number 3? Well, it turns out that if the digits in the number will add up to a multiple of 3, the number itself is actually a multiple of 3. For example, if we take the number 249, you can easily determine whether this number will divide by 3 by adding up the digits. 2 plus 4 plus 9, which adds up to 15. Now, because 15 we know will divide by 3, that actually means that the original number 249 will divide by 3. It doesn't tell us how many times 3 will go into it, but it tells us it would work. Let's see. 249 divided by 3 won't go into 2. 3 into 24 is 8. 3 into 9 is 3. So 3 actually goes into 249 83 times. Or you could check that on a calculator. There's also a trick for the number 4. If the last 2 digits in the number give you a number that divides by 4, the entire number will divide by 4. This actually works because every multiple of 100 is already a multiple of 4 and 5 and 10. So 240 will divide by 4 because 40 will divide by 4. $244 will divide by 4 because 44 will divide by 4. As a matter of fact, if we added digits in front of this, 723, 723,244, this is going to divide by 4. It doesn't matter what the rest of the number is. If the last 2 digits are a multiple of 4, the number will divide by 4. Obviously, the first requirement to divide by 4 is that it has to be divisible by 2. So it has to be an even number. If it's not an even number, don't even bother to go there. You probably already realize what the rule for 5 is. If the last digit is either a 0 or a 5, the whole number will divide evenly by 5. If the number will divide by both 2 and 3, which basically means it's one of the numbers that'll divide by 3, and it's also an even number. So every other multiple of 3 will also divide by 6, 2 times 3. I have heard of tricks to figure out whether a number will divide by 7, but it's so complicated that it's not worth the trouble. Just go ahead and use a calculator and divide it by 7. Of course, you can use a calculator for any of these. Likewise, for the number 8, the trick is that if the last 3 digits are something that'll divide by 8 altogether, then the whole number will divide by 8 because every multiple of 1,000 will divide by 8. However, unless it's something that'll obviously divide by 8, like 024, 24, then it's probably not worth the trouble. Just go ahead and use a calculator. Or divide it by 4 and then see if it's still an even number. The trick for 9 is just like the trick for 3. Every multiple of 9 is a number where the sum of the digits in the number will divide by 9. I don't know about you, But the way I learned my nines tables, we've got 9, 18, 1 and 8 adds up to 9, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, and 90. Now these are the first 10 multiples of 9. You will notice that in every single case, these digits add up to 9. The way I learned my nines tables was that if you want to do 9 times 7, you subtract 1 from the 7 to get the first digit, which would be 6. So the first digit is 1 smaller than the number you're multiplying the 9 by. And the second digit is what you get when you subtract this digit from 9. So 9 minus 6 is 3. So the first number is going to be 1 smaller than what you're multiplying by the 9 by. And the second digit will be whatever it takes to make it add up to 9. Is one of the tricks for figuring out your multiples of 9. And then of course, surely everybody realizes that if the last digit in the number is a 0, then the number is a multiple of 10. So these are divisibility tests. You can always use a calculator, but some of these you can actually tell at a glance. For instance, you should be able to tell if a number is an even number at a glance and automatically instantly know that it divides by 2 if it is. It doesn't divide by 2 if it isn't. So some of these are quicker than using a calculator. Some of them you just can't beat a calculator. These are handy to know because when we get into division and factoring and working with fractions especially, you've got to be able to easily tell whether, a lot of times, whether two numbers have a common factor, whether there's some number that'll go into both of those numbers. So these tests are handy to know and keep track of this. Go ahead and write it down and keep it handy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.